Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how to implement add to cart for anonymous users. You understand? So previously, some months back, I made a tutorial series on building a shopping cart with Django. So in that series I didn't show you how to add to cart for anonymous users. So in this video right now, so here's the series here. This is the part 1, this is the part 2, this is the part 3. So I'm going to drop the link to these videos in this video's description. So right now in this video, I will show you how to implement anonymous users add to cart. Whereby you can add to cart if you are not logged in. Understand? So that's what I'll do. We are getting started right now. Okay, before you continue, make sure you've watched these 3 videos. Make sure you understood what I did there. So once you are done with this 3, with this 1, 2, 3, don't worry, I will drop the link for you guys in this video description. So make sure you've watched and understood this 3. So once you are done with this one, you can then come and watch this current video on how you can add to cart if you are not logged in, how you can add to cart if you are an anonymous user. So that's what I'll do. We are getting started right now. So here's my code. Here's the code now. So I'm going to go down to my views.py file. So here I'm going to make most of my changes on this file. So let's go down, let's scroll. So here is my file. Here's the index page. Let me run this. So Safari is currently running. So let's try this and see how it looks like. So the local, we stick is localhost. So yeah, no, not this. I think it's 8008. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see right now, I'm currently on the index page and it's showing this error. This error is because I am not logged in yet. So if you see the views.py file, before I can access the cart, I must be logged in. Okay, so to avoid this error, you see here, I'll just come over to my views.py file. I can just create set cart to none, or whatever. I can set to none again. So once cart is, so right now we have the cart outside of this if block. So let's see, the server is currently about to run. So right now let's see the index page again. Refresh this. Okay, it's coming up. Okay, then right now we have our page up again, but I want to show you, but right now things are not working yet. You can only add to cart if you are logged in, and this is not the best way to go about it, you understand? So right now, these are add to cart function. So don't worry, I will provide the source code for you guys so you guys can implement by yourself. So these are our add to cart function over here. Let me just show you what it does, what's happening. So right now we can only add to cart if the user is logged in. Well, this is not the best way to go about this at all. So I'm going to replace all what we have here. Let me just replace that. Let me replace this if, paste this now. So right now I've updated the views.py file. So I'm going to explain what is going on right now. So let's do that right away. Okay, I need to import UUID on the top. Don't worry, I'll provide the source code for you guys. Just listen to me and understand what I'm doing here. Import UUID. Okay, so let's continue. So currently this is the add to cart function. So first of all we are doing is this: if you are logged in, so when adding to cart and if you are logged in, you're going to create a cart for that user instantly. Once you do that, we then create the cart item and then we increase the quantity of the cart item, we then save. This is simple, right? This is what we have been, this is what I've done in the previous series, right? But over here now, if you are not logged in, we have a different approach. If you are not logged in, so we did here. So we said, first of all, we have to get our cart using the we have to get the current cart in the session. So right now, if you're not logged in, we are storing the cart in the session. So we are using Django session over here now. So if you haven't logged in, we have to store the cart in the session. So that's what we did over here. So we are trying to check if there is a cart in the session. So this try block, we are trying to run this code. We are trying to check if there is a cart in our session. You understand? So if there is a cart, then we get the current cart there. Then we create a cart item for that cart, which we've done over here, and then we increase the quantity. We then save. You understand? So that's what we did over there. So if we don't have a cart in our session, in the request or session, we then have to create. So what we did now is that we have to now create a cart into the session, which we did over here, request or session. For right now, we are trying to assign a value to our session. This is our session over here, request or session. I'm calling it non-user. You can call it whatever name you like. I called my non-user. So if there is no cart in the session, I have to create a cat in that session, right? Which I'm doing over here. So I say request a session, non-user, and I assign UID4 to it as the value. And then I have to now create a cat based on that session. So right now my cat is meant to have, my cat model is meant to have a session underscore ID. Our cat is meant to have a session ID. You understand? Our cat model. So I'm going to add that right away. So right now to my model.py file, let me add that field. Where's the cat model? Where are you? So here's our cat model. So paste this here. So once you've done this, now make sure you run migrations, make migrations. So now we have the cat, we have our session ID in the cat model now. So I'm going to explain this again. So first of all, if you are logged in and you are adding to cat, we are going to create a cat using the logged in user, how we did over here. And then we create the cat item for that cat, then we do the remaining stuff. So that's why I said make sure you watch the previous series so you understand what I've done here. So if you are logged in, we create a cat for the logged in user. But if you're not logged in, what do? We try to get the cat in the session. We're using Django sessions here. We try to get a cat from our session. So if there is no cat in that session, so right now, if there is no cat in the session, this other code gets executed. But if there is a cat in the session, this first code gets executed. So right now we don't. So currently, both codes are going to work based on whichever conditions that is right. So if you have a cat in your session, the try block will run. If you don't have a cat, we are going to then create our session variable, which is over here, and then we create a cat based on that session, and then we create our cat item, we increase the quantity, we then save. Understand? So that's what we did over here. So right now in our index and in our index file, in our index function and the cat function, we need to also get this cat. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So right now in our index function, you can see our cat is set to none if you are not logged in, and you can only get your cat if you are logged in. So this is no, this is wrong, right? This is wrong. The same thing for our cat function. We are having duplicate code, which is not supposed to be so, right? So right now I'm going to clear out all the everything that concerns cats over here. I'll clear it out. It's gone. So I've done that now. So I'm going to paste this code now. So I'm going to explain what this code does. Okay, I missed something. So we need a try block. Let me put in the try. So once we've done this now, I will indent this. So our except block needs to go in a bit. Okay, so perfect now. So this is what we have. So here's the try block. So I'm going to explain what is happening over here now. So let's do that right away. So right now we have this try block. These are our try blocks. So we check if the user is logged in. We are going to get the correct. We are going to get the cat for that user. We are going to get the cat. We are going to get the cat for that logged in user. But if there is no cat for that user, we will try and get. Sorry, this is it. Let me explain now. So first of all, we have the try block. First of all, we check if the user is logged in. We then get the cat for that user. But so if the user isn't logged in, we are going to try and get the cat in the session. Understand? So this try block, this cat might not exist. Even if the user is logged in, the user might not have a cat. So this try block now, it might not work. So what I'm trying to say now, this is a try block. So we are trying to see. First of all, we are saying, okay, let's see if the user is logged in. If the user is logged in, we try and get the cat for that user. But mind you, the user might not even have a cat. That's why it's in the try block. But if the user has a cat, we're going to get that cat. So this else block now is to say if the user isn't logged in, we're going to try and get the cat in the session. I remember there might be also no cat in the session. So that's where the except block comes in there. So if the try block fails, we'll come down to the we are going to draw down to the except block. You understand? So remember, in the try block, we check if the user is logged in, then we get the cat for that user. Remember, the user might not even have a cat. So if the user isn't logged in, we try getting the cat in the session. And also, you have to remember that we might not also have a cat in the session. So if this block fails, we are brought down to the except block, and this except block is currently a cat object that simply holds the number of items. currently number of items is set to 0. You understand? If this block fails, our number of items is set to 0. So in this index function, we are simply getting the cat. The same thing we are going to do in the cat function. You understand? So guys, please make sure you follow the previous tutorial before you watch this one, so you fully understand what I'm doing here. Thank you so much. So I'll copy this again. We'll do the same thing over here. We paste it here. So the same thing again happens. So what I've explained over here is something that's going to happen here. And right now you can see we have duplicate code. We have the same code in the cat function. We have the same code again in our index function. We can avoid this. So I'm going to use context processors. So what you have to do now is create a new file called context processors in your app. I'm creating it in the store app. Context underscore processors .py. So now I'm going to call this function, I'm going to say cat renderer, cat underscore render. It helps render our cat for us, request. So what this function does is this: it enables us right now. You can see me having this. We're having this duplicate code in the index function and also in the cat function. We are trying to get the cat. We are trying to get the current cat, right? And we are having duplicate code in 2 different functions. So to avoid this, that's where context processors comes in. With context processors, you can declare your function, you can query your database in the context processor, and it's going to be available in all your views function. That's one thing about it. I'll just paste this guy here. Pasted. So this cat you see and we are trying to get over here is now available in all the functions, in all my view functions, available in everything, literally everything. So you get, it's available in all my view functions. So I'll remove. So this is the, what's it called again? This is our cart page. So I'll remove these cart items. So we are going to test it. We are going to test things soon. Okay, return. It should go in. So right now, since I already have this in this function, so let me just import our cards into this. Let's say from .models, I'll simply import cards. So that's done. So I imported the cart now. So in the views now, I don't need this code again because I now have access to it through my context processors. I now have access to this code. You understand? So that's that. So let's continue. So the same thing, I need to remove it over here. So it's gone. Also, we don't even need to pass cart over here. We don't need this cart again. We can remove it. We can also remove it from here. We don't need that again. So that's fine. So once you've done this, and I think you are making progress, I'll explain everything again. So with our context processors now, we can have access to this cart that we are trying to call fetch, that we are trying to get here. We can have access to it in all the views function. You understand? So that's fine. So let's continue. Let me make this look readable. Don't worry, you have the source code in this video description. I'll give you that. I'll provide the source codes for you guys. Okay, so that's that now. So remember now. So let's see now. Currently, our card gets created if you are logged in this if block. You understand? But what if you are not logged in? Our card is being created based on the session. So first of all, check if there is a card in the session. If there is a card, then we populate the card. But if there is no card in the session, we have to provide a value for our session and then create a card based on that session, and then we populate the cards. So in this else block, our card is not being assigned to a user. So we need to assign this card to a user. How do we go about that? So this is how we do it here. Remember, so I'm going to create a login page. So I'll simply copy and paste code here. I don't want to waste your time. So let's do that right now. Let's create a new view called login. So guys, this is our login view. So remove all this unwanted stuff. So it's the login view. So I need to do some importing. So right now I need to import authenticate and login. So let's do that at the top. That's done. So once we've done this already, this is our login view. Okay, so this is our login view. So what I did now is that you can add to carts. So on this view, what this view does is that what this view does is it simply logs in, and once you've logged in, again gets the cart without the user and then assign the current logged in user to that cart. So you can check the code yourself. It's simple, plain and clean. You can see what's going on over there. Understand? So what I need to do is that I need to create the template for this. The template is called login.html. Let's just do that right now. Login.html. Okay. So right now I'll paste the code here. This is a simple form for logging in the user. This is a simple form here. So I think that's that. So once we are done now, okay, I think we're making progress. So let's continue. So before I forget, I already forgot about it. So remember we made our context processor, right? We need to register this context processor. So right now go down to your settings.py file, your settings.py. So let's register it right now. Go down to your templates. So over here you see context processors. Just come down here. Okay, what do we call the function? The function is called cat_render. So let's paste it here, just under here. You can see how just where you have these context processors under templates, under options. Come down here, then paste. So the app is called store. The file is called context_processors, and the function is called cat_render. Render. Remember, this is what we are trying to render out there. So make sure it is registered. Once it's done, okay, I think we can test our code now. So let's see. Okay, refresh this page. Okay, currently we're having this error. You can know what is causing the problem. So I didn't register the URL path for this. For the login view, go down to your code. So let's do that right away. So paste this. Let's paste this under here. Okay, this is the login. This is our URL path for the login view. Okay, so let's test again. Okay, now we have my shop now. Okay, so I remembered something now. So before you have to cart, go down to your models and make sure that your user is blank. Like, make sure it is null. Remember now we can add to cart if the user is not logged in. So you need to make sure your user field is null equal true and also blank equal true. You understand? So null equal true and blank equal true. So let's make migrations necessary. So please guys, do to subscribe to my channel, like this video. You can follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on Twitter. You find the link in this video's description. So let's continue. So let's make migrations. Okay, so let's migrate and run server. Perfect. So okay, refresh page. This is Django. So hope everything works well. I don't know why it's taking this much time, but it's fine. Okay, add to cart. You can see our cart has been updated. So add to cart again. Okay, add to cart. Remember, we are not logged in. Right now we can add to cart. We are not logged in. You can see we are logged out. Log in again. You can see we are logged out on the admin. But right now you can add to cart. Add to cart again. It works. So let's log in right now. Log in. So I'm going to put in you said this is the username and the password. So submit. Let's see if it works. I hope it really does. Perfect. And Clinton is now logged in and he now has a cart to himself. So now let's log into the admin. So the same credentials. So login. Oh, sorry, this is just normal CSRF. So cart. So you can see we have our carts now assigned to this user claims. You can see, remember, first of all, we were not logged in. We were able to add to carts. We then had to sign in, and then after we signed in, that user was then attached the carts we created before. So right now I'm going to delete this cart right away, and let's do this again. Delete carts. You can delete the carts. Yes, I'm sure. So okay, so I'm going to log out. Let's try for anonymous users. So right now I'm logged out. So refresh this page now. You can see it's gone. So add to cart. Make sure it updates before you add another item. Make sure this is being updated. Add to cart, add to cart. So I can add multiple, add again. If I decide to log in now, you can see we have 5 items in the cart. Let's log in again. So submit. So perfect, I'm logged in now. You can see it has been logged in and this user has been assigned to this cart. Go on to your admin and let's confirm again. Don't worry, I'll give you guys the source code. You'll find the link in this video description. You can play around with it, try out things yourself. I don't know why this is, just go back, it's going to come back. Okay, click on cart. So we have this cart now. Remember, first of all, this user, first of all, this cart was created without having a user logged in. You understand? So right now we're able to like add to carts. If you're logged in, if you're not logged in, you can add to cart. Everything works perfectly. So what I want you to do now is that you can get the source code in this video description. Do things your own self, like you can play around with the code, you can implement it in your own e-commerce website, and everything is going to work fine. You understand? So what I want from you guys now is just for you guys to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and say something about it. Drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. So that's the end of this tutorial. So if you've not watched the previous series, make sure you watch the previous series, the part 1, the part 2 and part 3. On that series I taught how you can implement Flutter Wave with Django. So make sure you watch the previous series before coming down to this particular video.